Okay, so to start off, I'm going to pull up this study that was done between National Association of Realtors and Google. They got together to kind of understand what's happening with the consumers as far as, as it says, the digital house hunt. So what they did was they wanted to find out, what's driving the consumers online, what percentage of people are utilizing, the tech pieces to find homes, and that sort of thing, so that they could kind of understand better how to market themselves as a realtor, and how to capture those organic leads, if you will, and that sort of thing. So really interesting study. I don't really go over this. Again, this is kind of a session to try to help you guys understand how to sell the program. So I don't really go over this, but I do like to make sure that I understand the statistics on it, because this is a lot of what I do to kind of prep the realtors as far as them understanding why they need to be online, because there are a lot of agents out there that don't have an online presence. They're not working to build an online presence, and at this stage in the game, it's actually just crazy, because as you can see right here, 90% of home buyers searched online during their home buying process. So I mean, you're talking about the majority, nearly all of those home buyers out there are online in some fashion. We did a Monday meeting a couple weeks ago talking about homes.com and actually getting on there and trying to advertise to home buyers. The realtors are all over those websites as well. That's great exposure for everyone. And I mean, that's where people are. I just purchased a home, and all I did was search the Zillow app and the homes.com app, and I mean, I literally found the home for my agent. And you start to feel like, what are these agents doing for you at that point? But that's the piece of it. As a buyer, if you don't have a real estate agent that you're working with, you're online already and you're searching. And these realtors have to be, they have to be accessible across the web, and they have to be, saturating that market so that they've got every possibility to reach those buyers. I guess we're going to do that. Hang tight one second while this resets the colors. So really interesting statistics as far as, what point in the search process they utilize the internet, where they're going for it. The multitasking, like you'll see here, 36% of people are utilizing the real estate apps while they're watching TV. I mean, it's like, you got this great ability to reach these people. I talk to agents a lot about YouTube and whether or not they've got a YouTube channel out there and whether or not they're advertising on YouTube. And right here is the exact reason they have to be on YouTube. Usage of online video home research, 51% of that is actually on just YouTube itself. So the rest of it is on the brokerage website for the most part. So that's the kind of thing, most of them will have it on their website, but they're not going out there, they're not getting on YouTube, they're not dispersing their properties across all of those websites that are available. So that's what we do to help them with their sales process. What we do is, pull this presentation back up here, we give them this Realtor Partnership Program. So we're going to start this kind of from the beginning, and again, you'll see the slides, and I'll kind of go through it with you as far as what I do to sell the program. The first thing I do is obviously, introduce myself, introduce the loan officers or whoever we're working with at the time, and make sure first and foremost that I explain to the agents, this isn't a sales pitch. I used to go into these offices and do a presentation, and the realtors would start zoning out. And then I realized they think that I'm trying to sell them a program. They think this is going to cost them, $10 a month or whatever it is. But this is actually something that we offer free to our branches, both retail and BPO, and then also free to those real estate agents. So like it says here, Realtor Partnership Program, end-to-end marketing solutions, and it's done for the agent. So that's the other big piece of it. You're going to get a lot of agents that are a little bit out of the game as far as how to brand themselves across the internet. They don't understand a lot of things outside of just, email and getting on their website to update properties and that sort of thing. So we actually have a team that does this marketing for us and for you. It's extremely easy for you to get this going, and it's extremely easy for the agent to actually utilize it. So like I said, I'll start off kind of discussing the digital house hunt, what those statistics said within that Google and NAR document. So 9 out of 10 home buyers rely on the internet to find their homes. The real estate searches have grown 253% over the past 4 years, buyers use specific online tools. Now, if you're not a part of those specific online tools like YouTube or like homes.com or just Google itself, if you're not showing up as a real estate agent, you're really just completely out of the game at this point. It's crucial to have local search terms and websites within your marketing online. So basically, if you're a real estate agent and your website is reaching, the top of Google, but it's only reaching the top of Google in a state that you're not able to do business in, it's completely worthless to you. And then finally, the mobile technology role in home buying. I talk about the homes.com app. I talk about the Zillow app. These are where younger generation, even up to mid-40s, this is where they're spending the majority of their time searching for homes. And that's before reaching a real estate agent. That's before reaching a loan officer. That's just them thinking, hey, I really want to try to look into a home buying process. I want to see what's available in my area. Maybe they're thinking about selling. Maybe they're thinking about moving. They're just curious, so they're on the apps. And it's a great opportunity if you're mobile accessible. It's a great opportunity to snag those organic buyers and really just kind of get that the new lead. So for a real estate agent, that's that new buyer. And if they're not set up mobily, they're really missing out on a huge chunk as well. So the solution to them, they don't have time for the most part. This system works really well for independent real estate offices, the offices that are, a local office. Maybe they've got 1 or 2 shops. They're not the RE/MAX. They're not the Century 21. They don't have a ton of marketing already built into their everyday systems. So this is a way for just an experienced, busy real estate agent that doesn't have time to get on the internet and brand themselves across the web. This is a way for them to get all of the exposure without really having to do much at all. So we call it the marketing in a box. We're offering a very robust system for them as far as getting that branding online. And again, it's set up and maintained for that real estate agent. The first thing that we do, we actually work with listing agents more than anything. So these days, I don't find a lot of agents. I just ran into one the other day that was exclusively a listing broker, and she does 50 to 100 listings a month, which is just nuts. But what you find is most of the agents out there are doing both listing and buyers. And if they're exclusively listings, it's probably somebody like this agent that I was talking to last week. She's actually exclusively listings, but then she's got 4 or 5 people that work at her office under her that do the buyer's side. So if you're able to get in with her and kind of show her what you can do to help her do more business, then she can introduce you to those buyer's agents, and then you can start kind of getting those buyers from them and trying to help them as well. So the first thing that we do for all of their listings is we set them up with a website. This is outside of their current website. They've already got a website most likely. I mean, I don't know if I've ran across a real estate shop these days that doesn't have one, but they'll have something that's showcasing their properties or showcasing what they do for their sellers. That's great. We want them to keep that. This is completely different. This is for the home. This is to market that home itself by itself. So this is how you gain a lot of traction from buyers that are looking in certain school systems or they're looking for a specific type of home. These types of websites are going to show up on Google, on Yahoo, and YouTube when the buyers are searching. So we want to separate that property from that real estate agent and get that that extra exposure for them as well. So it's really all about kind of shotgun blasting these websites and allowing them to reach as many people as possible. So you've got an agent, they've got 5 listings possibly. Each one of those listings will have its own website, and each website acts as kind of like a virtual open house for that property. It's going to have everything they need. It's going to have the pictures, the the virtual tour. It's got built-in flyers, which helps you, it helps the realtor, and it helps the seller. So let's say you've got a real estate agent that says, hey, I need some flyers for tomorrow's open house, and it's 9 o'clock on a Friday. This allows the realtor to be able to, you can just say, hey, we set you up with that property. Here's the website link. Jump on there, find the flyer you like, click print, and you're good to go. So it's really a time saver for you. And then as an agent, they got a seller that says, hey, I need some flyers real quick. Our flyer box is empty, or we're going to church tonight. We want to pass them out. Boom, just direct them to the website, have them print the flyers off. And so it saves time for everybody. And, again, it's set up for them instantly, and It's a really great sales tool. These are SEO compatible, search engine optimized. When I talked about the importance of having local information so it's searchable locally, that's what we do for these properties. So we try to get a feeling for what people are searching for in that area. In the area that I live in, there's a school system called Center Grove. It's a highly ranked school system. Everybody wants to be in that area, and it actually drives the value of the homes up significantly. So we make sure that these websites for any Center Grove property are just completely embedded with meta tags that are in relation to Center Grove, Center Grove, Center Grove, right? So it's all about having those pieces in there so that whenever a buyer's online and they're searching Center Grove open houses or homes for sale in Center Grove, or even whatever part of the state it's in, those property listings show up at the top because we've optimized them for that. And again, that's organic traffic. I mean, these are buyers that the realtor wouldn't have been able to get in front of typically, and now they're having the the ability for that person to call them or email them or request information or whatever it is. The other piece of it is that it is branded for the real estate agent. That's extremely important for the realtor. They want to know that we're not putting up this website with their property and it's Sagamore all over it, and then there's a little picture of the agent at the bottom. These actually are pretty difficult to find out who sponsored them for the real estate agent. It's all realtor until you click on financing, and then it'll show Sagamore's information as far as here's some options for financing this property. Does anybody have any questions yet? Everybody still with me, I assume?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. So, and it's also a big piece. Again, I mentioned the sellers. This is a huge piece for the agent. If I'll come right back to that independent office. If you're an agent with an independent office, you're actually sitting there thinking, how can I compete against Century 21? How can I compete against RE/MAX? And typically, what those agents do is they slash their commission. So they'll say, hey, you're being told it's going to cost 7% to list your home. I'll do it for 5% if you let me do the purchase side, that sort of thing. So they don't want to take that commission slash. They want to be able to compete directly with those larger agencies. So now they're able to showcase all of their marketing tools and really have that same peace of mind for the bar or for the listing for the list. Hang on a second, we just had a couple jump on here. So let me move Crippen over to Chris. Are you there, buddy? Can you hear me? All right. For some reason,
I can hear you, but I'm muting myself. I'm in a place I can't talk.
Good okay, job, that's fine. Just if you've got any questions or anything, hit the question.
You're recording this, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I need a movie copy, and then I can edit it, and then we'll have it available for all the loan officers to start.
Yep. Sounds good. If you've got any questions, just go ahead and type it in the question section, and I'll try to answer that for you. Okay. So again, it's a big piece as far as the sellers are concerned, and this gives those realtors the opportunity to compete directly with those larger companies. So once we've created the website for that property, now we're going to syndicate it. This is important because, again, you'll be listed on Google, you'll be listed on Yahoo, but most of the time these buyers are going other places to find homes. They're going to homes.com, they're going to Trulia, Zillow, Craigslist. They're going to all of these different websites. And in the area that you're in currently in Orlando, we've got about 85 different sites that we syndicate to, which means that immediately once we set this property up, it's automatically going to be available on those websites. Now, a lot of the MLS companies are hitting the major ones. They're probably already hitting Trulia. They're probably already hitting homes.com and Zillow, posting that listing on the website. That's fine. We're going to overlay a link to our property website as well. So now if a buyer's on Zillow and they're looking at this house, they see the realtor that's got it listed. Now they're also going to see an additional link available. They're going to click on that. They're going to go to the full site. They're going to get all the pictures, all the virtual tours, all the flyers. all the Google mapping. I mean, everything's going to be available to them at that point. So it's just an additional layer of marketing for that agent. And you know, we also make sure that if there are sites that are being missed that are major sites, we also make sure that we're promoting the property on those sites as well. So 85 websites automatically syndicated once we set up that property. We talked about YouTube a little bit. This is a huge statistic, and I'll tell you 51% of people are using YouTube for their video home research. They're going to YouTube for the virtual tours. They're going to YouTube for all types of things, even information about the realtors that they're looking at. They want to see a video of them kind of discussing what they do to promote themselves, that sort of thing. So it's extremely important, and the majority of the realtors that I talk to will tell me just flat out, no, we're not utilizing YouTube. Why are you not utilizing YouTube? It's too much work. We haven't thought about it. We don't have time for it. Whatever the excuse is, we've got the solution. So we do the customizable virtual tours. If they give us a username account for YouTube, we can automatically post these on YouTube for that realtor. Let's say they've got 50 listings, and we set up all 50 listings with a website. Instantaneously, once we post those websites, they'll automatically be synced up with the YouTube channel. Now they can direct their buyers or their sellers or whoever it is to their YouTube channel. They can have it on their business card or whatever and say, hey, you want to see what kind of homes I've listed in the past? You want to see you know, some of the homes that are available currently? Check out my YouTube channel and check out all the videos that are on there. So then all they have to do is go in and add those personal marketing videos if they want, or maybe a video about the office itself and what their company does. But I mean, it's that simple for them. Again, the majority of this is all about making things simple, quick, and automatically handled for them. The blogging piece is extremely important these days. We're actually going to do blogging on the realtor's behalf as far as just putting the property that they list up on a blog every once in a while. What happens is typical websites, like the ones that we're creating for these realtors, the websites for the listing, are going to be extremely visible on Google, Yahoo, any search engine. They're going to be at the top of the search engine list until they go stale. So after a while, those websites, if they're not being constantly edited or changed, Google views them as less relevant, and so they start falling down the list of the search engine. So what we do periodically is we'll go back in and we'll actually do what we call plogging. It's property blogging, and it actually you know, kind of resets that property back up to the top. And then on top of it, we've got a really good blogging channel, and we always encourage realtors to blog. The reason for that is that, you know, even if they don't feel like they are, they're a professional and they're extremely knowledgeable. And buyers are out there looking things up. They're looking up things like, you know, what type of property is best for a 2 or 3K, or, you know, what type of this or that. How much is my house worth in this area? When should I sell my house? Things like that. And if they're blogging about things that they're kind of excellent at or things that they specialize in, it's going to be an ability for them to actually show up on any type of search that the buyers are doing. So now not just if they're looking for properties, now they're just showing up as far as you know, as a professional and knowledgeable agent in that industry, and that way that, again, it's just another opportunity for them to pick up a buyer. So the search engines, like I said, they love blogs. If you were to get out there and blog about different loan types and talk about different, you know, different scenarios or different credit analysis pieces, you're going to start showing up all over the web, and you're actually going to pick up a lot more opportunity to get those buyers on your end as well. The search engines just absolutely eat up these blogs. So we do these for the agent, and then they also have the opportunity to do them on their own. Really all we need them to do is type out just some information on whatever subject they want to discuss, send it straight to us, and we'll just put it into a blog format for them. Oops. The listing presentation flipbook is probably the most valuable piece, maybe tied with one other piece that we have within the system. All of this marketing is irrelevant if the listing doesn't know about it. So again, it's all about a sales tool. It's all about trying to get out there and gain more listings. When a realtor sits down with that potential listing, the person that's listing their home is probably talking to a couple other different real estate offices. So this gives them the opportunity to sit down, have something that looks really nice. It's actually a virtual listing presentation flipbook, so they can pull this up on any computer or any tablet or any cell phone that's attached to the internet. It's a static website, so they'll always know the URL for that, and it's completely branded for that real estate agent. So they're sitting down with Joe Seller, and they say, hey, let me show you all the different things I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do outside of the technology piece. You know I'm going to put the sign in the yard. You know that I'm going to put it on the MLS. You know that I'm going to do the open houses every other Sunday. But let me show you what I'm going to do to really make sure that your home sells. So they can discuss, you know, those statistics we talked about as far as 90% of the home buyers online, you know, prior to actually, you know, buying. I think it's 56% of home buyers are online prior to even choosing a real estate agent, things like that. So they're going to showcase all the different marketing tools that they're using across the internet to help sell that property. It's a 14, 15-page digital book, and every single page is equipped with both the words that the agent needs to describe what they're doing and also a link to showcase what they've done. So the first page we'll talk about, you know, we're gonna set you up with this great marketing for those online buyers, and then you flip the page and it says, hey, we're gonna set your property up with its own website. You click on the click here to view one, and it pops up one of the real estate agents' recent listings that they've done. It shows the full website for them. They can go through the website with that seller. Then they switch to the next page. We're going to set you up with a full virtual tour. You click on that, it takes them to the YouTube channel and showcases that virtual tour. This is what I call a dummy-proof presentation. It's, you know, all they have to do, they don't even have to understand the technology behind it or who's doing it or how it gets done. All they need to do is be able to read or at least point that seller in the direction of this flipbook so they can read it and get the examples at their fingertips. So a great way, I've had realtors tell me, you know, multiple times, I know the only reason I got this listing, I know the only reason I beat Keller Williams on this listing was because I had this flipbook, and, you know, it really showcased everything that you guys do. Even though, you know, maybe Keller Williams does a lot of online marketing, they weren't promoting it enough. So this is a great way for those agents to really show off what they're going to do. And I tell the agents all the time, don't even tell the sellers that, you know, Sagamore Home Mortgage is doing this for you if you don't want to. You know, you be the star, you be the hero. Just make sure that once you get those buyers that you're sending them our direction so that we can help them as well. So the next piece that's extremely valuable is the call capture technology. The real estate agent is able to do a sign writer for all of their listings and put this call capture technology on there. So what the sign writer would say is, hey, for a complete virtual tour or for full high-definition pictures of the home, text, and in this case it's text 1 to 79564. So this replaces the flyer box on the sign. This is now a writer that catches the buyer's attention who's outside of the house. This is a writer that allows them to, that buyer that's outside the house, that allows them to use their cell phone to text this information, or to text to our system, and then it'll actually send them the full website straight to their cell phone. So what it does is it sends a breakdown. It says, you know, here's the property address, here's who has it listed, here's the price on it, and if you'd like to see our full website, click here. So anybody with a smartphone can gain access to the website while they're sitting outside of the home. That's great. The best part about it, though, is that it will actually send both the loan officer and the realtor the phone number for that buyer that's outside of the house. This isn't necessarily a new technology. It's been around for a while, but what it is a fairly expensive technology for a real estate agent. I've talked to agents that told me that they are spending upwards of $15 to $20 per property for this, and not for the sign writer. They're just getting that technology piece in place for their property listings. So this is something we can give to them for free. It's part of all the systems. I mean, every single property that gets set up is set up with the call capture technology automatically. The only thing the realtor needs to do is purchase the sign writers. So basically, they can go to their favorite, whatever shop they use to create their signs. They can get these little writers for it. We can help them design the writer. We can kind of explain to them. We've got a nice 3 or 4 page document that kind of goes over what works best for these sign writers. A lot of times it's clashing to the sign itself. So if they've got, let's say they've got a red and black sign, well, we have them make a green and yellow sign writer, something that'll draw the attention of that buyer that's outside the home so that they actually use the system. Because, obviously it's not going to do anything if they're not actually using the texting system. So just a really good way. I mean, again, it's all about trying to convert those buyers that are interested in the house to either purchase the home or to at least get in front of that real estate agent. So you compare that to having a flyer box outside. The potential buyers outside, they grab the flyer, they look at the specs on the home, they take the flyer, they get in the car, and they drive off. You've got no ability to contact that buyer whatsoever. So with this system, if they replace the flyer box with these sign writers, they'll start getting the texts from those buyers, and then they'll start getting those phone numbers. They can text that buyer back, hey, I just happen to notice that you're outside of the house. Would you be interested in viewing the house? I've got an open house next Saturday. Got an open house next Sunday. I've got 3 houses that are a lot like this if you're interested. So it's really up to them how they reach that buyer. But again, another opportunity to reach a buyer that's interested. We've also got the QR codes on all the flyers. It's just, it's a trendy piece. If you've got the QR scanner, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to the website for that property. I've seen realtors use these on their sign writers. They'll put kind of a QR code, attach it to the side, not to their sign writers, but their actual signs. They'll attach the QR code to the side of it, because if you think about it as you're driving by that property, the sign, eventually you'll be right next to it. So you'll pull up next to it, you scan that QR code, and it pulls up the website. The only downside to the QR code is that it will not send them the buyer's phone number. So again, I always promote that sign writer. I just think that's by far one of the most valuable pieces. Saves them money, and then it also gives them the ability to actually talk to that potential buyer. We talked about the flyers. Here's one of the flyers that is automatically attached to the website. It's a perfect open house flyer in my opinion. It's got multiple pictures. It's got the information about the home, the specs, the agent information, and you're good to go. It's going to have the QR code here that we talked about. That'll take them to the website, and then also the agent, if they need the text for information code, it is actually listed right here for them, right in the middle of it. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse or not, but it's right in the middle of the flyer is the text for information code. So we've also got, Tony, if you're not using these yet, or we'll set your other guys up with it, we've got a website called easymortgageflyers.com that we partner up with. They've literally got, I think, like 1,100 different flyers. And then they've also got the ability to make completely custom flyers on there. You can co-brand these with your real estate agents. It's a one-time setup within the system to set the agent up with the flyers, and that way all their information automatically populates every time that you flag them as the listing agent. It'll be co-branded with both of you on it. It's great for open houses. I used to go into open houses in areas where USDA was available for financing the home. I would drop off 20 or 30 USDA flyers. Almost always that open house, the realtor would not have a USDA flyer available. So they're always glad to take something about that, just because that's a great product. A lot of times they wouldn't even know that the house was available for financing through USDA. Obviously it's really easy to sell a home when it's a 0% down program. So, print up a bunch of flyers, drop them off at real estate offices while you're telling them about the Realtor Partnership Program. Co-brand them. You can actually even give the real estate agent access to the website, so now they can go in and create their own flyers. A lot of people will say, well, why would you want to cut yourself out of the mix in that? Well, the best part is if they sign into this website with your code that you give to them, every single flyer they print off has your information automatically put on it. So if they're creating their own open house flyers, it doesn't matter. Whoever they give those to, you're going to already be branded on those as well. If you're working with an agent that doesn't have access to sign writers for whatever reason, we do have a company that we partner up with for sign writers. Here's a good example at the bottom of what some of those writers might look like as far as promoting the text for information. So get instant info, text 25884-279-564, and it's going to pull that website for that property up for them. Sign writers could be $10 a piece, depending on where you go, $10 to $20. They don't need to feel like that's going to be wasted once they sell that home. We can actually reuse it. So if you've got an agent that typically has 5 to 10 listings at any given time, just have them get 10 sign writers, and then as they sell that home, we'll just reuse it on their next listing that they get set up with us. The FSBO marketing, sometimes I get scowls from the realtors when I start talking about FSBOs. Sometimes I get attention from the realtors. It's kind of it could be considered a bad word for some realtors because they do consider for sale by owners direct competition, but I consider it a really good way for them to convert FSBOs to listings and or at least be able to be that buying agent for that FSBO. So the way this works is we give that for sale by owner that the realtor brings to us or that the loan officer brings to us, we give them the full suite of marketing tools. I went by a for sale by owner the other day, and the flyer in the flyer box, you know, they had the for sale by owner sign that they bought from, you know, Office Max or wherever, and then they had a little flyer box attached to it. I pulled the flyer out of the flyer box, and all it had on it was the property address, how much it was listed for, the contact information, and a picture of the front of the house. So that was a complete fail. I mean, it's, you know, I'm outside of the house. I know what the front of the house looks like. I need more information on this home. So what happens is when we set up that for sale by owner with their own property site, they gain access to the flyers. Their property is syndicated across the 85 different websites that we automatically post it to. And they've got virtually every single marketing piece covered that a for sale by owner would need, with the exception of being listed on the MLS. So we kind of force them into getting more detail for that property. You know, we tell them we need a minimum of, you know, 8 pictures of the house, those sorts of things, so that we really do take and hold their hand with that whole marketing process. With a realtor, if they go in and they're kind of talking to the for sale by owner, trying to convert them, what I suggest is, you know, okay, I understand you don't want to list your house with a realtor. You want to give it a go on your own. Here's what I can do for you. If you work with me as the buyer's agent, and you let me, you know, search for a new home for you, I will give you access to the system, complete marketing suite. I can give you access to this for 60 days. And then at the end of that 60 days, we can actually shut it off. We'll shut that property site down. And at that point, the realtor can go back to that FSBO and say, hey, now that we've taken the time to try it your way, why don't we give it a shot my way? And so a lot of agents out there using this through us, sending us those FSBOs, and then, you know, I assume they're getting that buyer site, and then they convert these a lot. I mean, I'll get that email, hey, shut it down. I'm going to go in there, and then they'll send me a success email saying, hey, this was great. I was actually able to convert them, and now I'm listing their home. So thanks for the assist on that. Again, something for the FSBO. The loan officers can do it as well if you guys are interested in trying to pick up some of these. It's a really good way to, after 60 days, not only will you have the ability to do the financing for any of the buyers that come across this property, any buyer that tries to buy the FSBO, I suggest that you say, hey, you've got to send all of them to me. So you'll have the chance to do the financing for those people. And then you even have the chance, you know, if that person is out there looking on their own and they don't have financing, if they don't have anybody in place yet for their financing, and let's say they don't buy the FSBO, you've still got that pre-approval for them. They can take that to the next home. Now you've got a buyer from that side as well. But you know, once the 60 days is up, you can say, hey man, I've got to shut you down on this. Let me go ahead and refer you over to this realtor that I work with a lot. He or she is excellent. I really think that they can help you sell this property. And now you're giving your realtor the ability to pick up that listing as well. And anytime you start feeding your realtor listings, you're going to have a huge success rate as far as getting business from them as well. If they already have a website, we have a ton of different widgets that we can put on them, on their site. So this one is basically a snapshot of all their different listings. So we'll go back to my realtor that's got 50 different properties listed. They can go, you know, anybody that's on their website, not on the websites that we're setting up, anybody that's on their website can have a snapshot of all of their different listings. So as you hover your mouse over the top, it starts scrolling through. As you hover your mouse over the bottom, it starts scrolling through the other way. The benefit to the realtor for this is that currently they probably have to go into their site and change their listings every time they sell or add a new one. If they're working through us properly and they send us all their listings and they tell us whenever their listings are sold, we will add and subtract directly from the system, and it'll automatically sync up with this. So now they've got the ability to put that widget on their website. You scroll up and down on it, and it showcases all of their active listings. And then the best part about it also is that they've probably had to have somebody, as far as their web designer, add the HTML code that we give them. So let's say they spent $50 to get that the web designer to add that code to their website. Well, now this system doesn't work on their website. Their listings won't show up properly unless they continue to come back to you as the loan officer and give you new properties or tell you that they've sold a property. So it's really, it's all about hooking the realtor a lot of times, hooking them for life. And this is one of those systems that if they love these websites, if they love using this and they feel like there's a great value to it, or they've set up their website around this system, there's nothing they can do but continue to come back to you and use it. So we've also got Facebook widgets. So if they've got a Facebook page, they're able to put these same things on their Facebook page. We can help them automatically send a Twitter feed every time they add or subtract a property. We've got one-click full-color Craigslist posting. So I know a lot of agents utilize Craigslist, but traditionally all they do is just kind of type up the information about the property and add some pictures. Well, this will actually add the full website as an HTML post to Craigslist, and it's really just kind of a one-click system for them. It's extremely easy. So again, this is a system that we do for them. It's free to the agents. It's free to you guys. I really suggest that you get out there and use it as a way to get your foot into some offices. Once you become a pro, and I can work with you on the actual presentation of it, once you become a pro at this presentation, you can get in front of 20, 30, 40. I did a presentation one time for 105 different agents at once. So I mean, you get in front of all of them at once. You give the opportunity to discuss what we can do as far as the marketing is concerned, and then make sure you wrap it up with what we do as far as the lending is concerned. And I think Heath, if Heath is on here and able to talk, I think he would be able to explain to you how easy it is once you get them. Heath, are you there, buddy? It's extremely easy once you gain that office, once you get one or two realtors from the system to kind of work with you and send you some business. It's extremely easy with our turn times and our service to be able to capture more and more of those agents as you close those files in 15, 20 days. So let me show you a couple of examples of this. Any questions that anybody may have right now or any comments?
Thanks, Chris. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, one thing I wanted to ask you, on the flyer technology stuff that we have, the easymortgageflyers.com you mentioned.
Yeah.
Does this system, okay, so if we haven't hooked a realtor into this particular system, but then we're wanting to help put flyers together for listings or maybe with payments on a listing or something like that, that isn't integrated with this system, that's when we're using the easymortgageflyers.com. Otherwise, the flyers are automatically in there if they join this particular the branch of the box thing here that we're doing.
Exactly. So you've got multiple, like I said, there's multiple versions of flyers on Easy Mortgage Flyers. There is only one flyer available, or there's only 4 or 5 flyers available on the website. That's a quick flyer. These are great for promoting yourself as a whole. So let me jump in here and see if they'll show some examples. So you'll see all of these examples of, product-specific flyers. These can be even sent out, in email format. They've got HTML versions. So I actually did a webinar a few months ago talking about how you can use MailChimp, which is a completely free email tool. It's a lot like Constant Contact. So it's one of these email tools where you set up your database of realtors. So let's say you've got 500 real estate agents in your MailChimp or in your Constant Contact pipeline. And let's say you spend 2 hours on a Monday, the first Monday of every month, you spend 2 hours setting up 8 different emails that you're going to automatically send throughout that month. Now you take your HTML code and you just start taking these flyers, whichever flyers you want to promote yourself with. Again, there's thousands of these. You take that code from these flyers, you create a few flyers, you take the HTML code, you post it into those emails, you set it to send a week from then, 2 weeks from then, 3 weeks from then, whatever it is. You kind of set up this schedule of automatic emailing, and now you're sending out these full HTML-coded emails that look extremely professional, and you really only spent a couple hours because you've already got the database set up. All you had to do was create the email being sent to everybody one time. You put in, you redo it 8 different times, and you have an email going out twice a week. And you've automatically set it up. You put it in, 2 hours later, you got your entire month's worth of email marketing handled. Then you go and you set up some that you're going to print off and drop off in some boxes of some real estate offices. And then like I said, you've also got the opportunity for the, you see right here, add referral partners for the co-branded with the real estate agent. So maybe they want to do some USDA flyers. Maybe they want to talk about, get some FHA flyers for their open houses, or just some listing open house flyers, whatever it is. Now you've got the opportunity to put these all together for them. There's ones with financing pieces involved. There's ones with just the information about the house. Again, there's just tons and tons and tons of different options. So remind me, and I'll get you set up with it so you can go in there. But you're absolutely right. You don't have to have anything to do. These are 2 totally different systems. This is just a website that we partnered up with as far as getting free flyers for you guys.
Okay, so real quick. So this one was, this that we're looking at here, the OSI Express.
Yep.
That is the one that integrates with our box system, correct?
This is just this. I talk about it on the presentation, but this is actually independent. So you've got
okay. So this is independent.
Yeah, this is easymortgageflyers.com. Will take you there. So you've got thousands of flyers available for promoting yourself and for co-branding with your real estate agent there. And then we'll go to one of our websites.
Do we need a login for that?
Yeah,
easy?
Absolutely. So I'll get you a login, and then I'll set up your guys with one as well. So then here's one of our websites for a property. You've got the Gray Roberson team. This is down in Tampa. So let's say they click on print brochure. Here's where the flyers are on those. So you've got flyer number 1, information about us, information about them, open house flyer number 1, open house flyer number 2, that's just them, open house flyer number 3. Some of these are loading improperly, but that's why we've got enough designs so that they can choose one that works well. And you'll see it's in an email format, but let's jump back to we'll jump back to this one real quick, and I'll show you. Once you click Save as PDF, hopefully this will work. We just updated our system last week, so we're having a couple of glitches here or there, but for the most part, everything's going smooth. So then here's where you've got, they're able to save it directly to a PDF. They can either email it to those sellers, they can print it, they can leave it on their desktop so they can print it when they're ready for it, whatever they need to do. Again, it's branded for the agent. This is huge. I mean, it really is, because there's a lot of other loan officers out there that want to try to do marketing with that real estate agent or want to try to help them with marketing, but they're going to, promote themselves more than the agent. We strategically do this because we want the agent to feel extremely comfortable working with us in these systems, so that we've got as many times to talk with that agent as possible throughout the week and as many opportunities to gain those buyers that they're working with. So here's where the text for information is. So if you were to open up your cell phone and text 611483, and then in the To section, instead of putting someone's name or someone's phone number, you would have put 79564, you're going to get the website that we were just on for that real estate agent. So then we'll go back here. Go ahead.
Going back real quick, not to jump out of it. So the other thing you were mentioning, I think it was just probably some, obviously it's not our system, it's something that you use. You said it was called MailChimp. Is that like chimp, like a chimpanzee?
Yep, MailChimp. That is actually, it's a lot like Constant Contact. So the one thing about MailChimp that I've found is, since it is a free service, I think Constant Contact is maybe $10 to $20 a month. Since MailChimp is a free service, what it's going to do is it's actually going to be extremely sensitive as far as allowing you to send emails to people that you don't necessarily have a set relationship with. So what MailChimp wants you to do is it wants you to email only people that have actually physically clicked a button on your website and said, yes, I would like to subscribe to your newsletter. So let me see if I can get some examples. It's really, it's an email service. You can send email from GoDaddy, You can send email from Outlook, or you can use these kind of almost like CRM systems where you've got 1,000 people in your database. You create one email, and it's sent out to those 1,000 people, and it looks like it was sent directly to that person. You know what I mean? So it's like you can put a code for the person's first name at the top of the email, and then type something out. Hey, it was just wanted to touch base with you and let you know about a new product that we're offering. Blah 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 blah. Thanks a lot. Contact me. And then you hit send, and it sends it to those 1,000 people where it says, and just wanted to let you know about this product. And then the next email says, Mark, just wanted to let you know about this product. So it's just it's an automated email service is what it comes down to.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you can use MailChimp, you can use Constant Contact. It doesn't matter what you use. All of them have the ability for you to open up an email and paste an HTML code into it and have a full picture show up as the email instead of you having to create it. They all have that ability. Easy Mortgage Flyers has the ability to create the HTML coded version of this flyer. So let's say you were looking at, let me go back to where we were, mortgage marketing flyers. So let's say you've created this home path mortgage flyer, right? And you wanted to, this is just promoted for you instead of having a co-branded piece. Let's say you wanted to send this to your 1,000 realtor database. After you've created the flyer one time, you can copy the HTML code for that flyer. You can open up MailChimp. You can open up Constant Contact. You can say, I want to send an email to 1,000 different realtors. You choose the database you want to send it to. It's got those 1,000 realtors in it. You create, you hit new email. You paste the HTML code into the body of that email, and now this flyer is your email. So anytime you get those emails from anybody, any large company these days sends out an email that looks like it's a picture format, that's an HTML coded email. So this flyer, instead of it just being attached to the email, will actually be the body of the email. So that's why I say it's extremely easy, because most of these templates and everything are already ready to go. So once we put in your contact info, all you have to do is say, I want the home path flyer, or I want the FHA flyer, or I want the USDA flyer, and it just, boom, it's done. I mean, it's got the flyer ready for you. So you can do 8 different flyers, set them to send on Monday and Wednesday of every day to your 1,000 realtors, and it took you maybe an hour to put that together, and you just have it sending automatically for a month. Then you come back in here the next month and you set it up again. Do we have anything where if we were to do a blog from our office, that we could HTML code the blog or something like that where it would automatically send out? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we can get you set up through our blogging system that we utilize now, and we can do that as well. Or you can, like I said, the flyers are customizable. So if you want to have, if you want to, in the format of the flyer, you can actually blog into the body of the flyer. There's 100 different ways we can make that happen. Okay. So I'll send you the webinar and the MailChimp version of it. It's going to be the same no matter what email system you use. The only reason I've started kind of shying away from MailChimp is because we've had some loan officers that have said, hey, I've got a database of 500 realtors. I think they all want me to email them and will be fine with it. They send that initial blast of 500 emails, and the emails abide by the canned spam laws. So at the bottom of the email it says, to unsubscribe, click here. So what happens is you've got 500 realtors that receive these emails, and maybe 20 or 30 of them click unsubscribe because they truly did not want to receive the email. And MailChimp actually will shut down that account and say, you got too many people that unsubscribed at once, and now we're not going to let you use our system anymore. So that's why Constant Contact is a little bit better. You pay a little bit a month. It's not expensive at all, but they won't shut down as easily as MailChimp will. So either way, you can use whichever one you want, but the system is the same. You make the flyer, you put the HTML code into the body of the email, and you're good to go. So let's get back to the examples of these websites. Here's one of them. All of the sites, again, these are property websites specifically just for that listing. So here's one we've got. It's priced at $250,000. This is actually a realtor team, so they do everything together. Branded for the real estate agent. It's branded for that team. You've got their picture. This is really all we need from the agent to get them set up, just so you guys know. We need a picture of the agent or the agent team. We need how they want their name to be listed. We need the office phone number, the mobile phone number, a link to the website. So if I click on this right here, it's going to take me actually to their website. And again, we're always promoting the realtor. We're always promoting their sites, their contact info, all that stuff. So here's that that agent team's website. This is actually an extremely successful real estate team, and one of our Tampa loan officers is working with them pretty much on a full-time basis. And this is how she was able to get in front of them, was with our system. So, so you've got all their contact information here. And all of this information down here, we actually pull this straight from the MLS. So once we've got the real estate agent connected with our system, we've got all this info in there, we've got them ready to go. All we need from you guys is for you to get their MLS number for their listing and the property address, okay? So a lot of them we can automatically sync with the MLS to pull all that information over. Some of them we actually have to go outside and actually physically type in the information to the MLS to find it. But it's really that easy, which is really nice for you and it's really nice for them. Now we try to keep the loan officer in the mix because this is your realtor. This is somebody you're working with to try to bring on board to get business with. So what we're going to do is we're always going to say, hey, make sure that you're the one that's touching base with them, getting the MLS number from them, figuring out which properties they want to set up with the system, and that sort of thing. So, so we've set up the agent. You've gotten, maybe they've got 10 properties. Some of the systems, they can actually email a link, and it'll have all of their listings in one email. Sometimes they do it individually, but they'll, you'll go up to them and say, hey, we got you all set up. We're ready to put some of your properties online. Can you get me some MLS numbers and some property addresses that go with those MLS numbers, and then we'll start setting up their websites. When a website is created for the realtor, they will actually receive an email that states that. It'll say, hey, your property is all set up now. You're good to go. Here are the different links. So it'll give them a link to the website. It'll give them a link to the virtual tour, and that sort of thing. So on the site, you'll be able to click as a potential buyer that's on the website. And we get a lot of people from out of town. So in Florida, you're going to get a lot of people from Indiana, or a lot of people from, we get a lot of Canadians, which is bizarre. But you'll get people that are looking in that area online. They're looking for the properties, and they're just kind of searching. For whatever reason, they're searching by things that come up a lot on our websites. So they're coming across these websites. They're clicking on Contact Me. They're getting a hold of a real estate agent. Whatever it is, maybe they just want to see what the property looks like. You get the virtual tour. We do just utilize the pictures, and we kind of seam them together and then pan in and out and that sort of thing, as you can see. If the realtor is actually paying somebody to go in and videotape a virtual tour of the home and actually do a full walkthrough of that property, we can actually use that video instead of this. So we just need that video link from the realtor. All the websites will be synced with Google Maps, which means you'll have the access to the aerial view or the street view, or whatever is available for that particular property. This is important, again, coming back to the point that we get a lot of people from out of town. They're going to want to know, they're going to want to get a good idea of what that place looks like, as far as, what's nearby. So you've got this what's nearby function. They're looking at a Google map, and that's not really telling them much about that particular property. But if they come down here, now they can kind of check and uncheck and see what's in the area. How close is it to a movie theater? I kind of judge, I judge whether or not a property is worth moving to based on whether or not it's close to a movie theater or bars or dry cleaning, whatever it is. This is loading a little slow, so we may move on here. But that's a really good way for them to understand the area as far as how populated it is, or whether or not it's rural or whether or not it's metro. And then you come down here, and this is another huge piece for buyers. Obviously, the school systems are always important to anyone with children. So this gives them the ability to kind of choose. You can check or uncheck. Maybe I'm just looking for elementary schools because that's the ages of my children. It'll show you exactly how far these schools are from that property. You click on it. It shows them the name of the school. It gives you the contact information, and then it tells you the community rating. So this is all synced in with like a master school database. If you're looking at that house and you really want to make sure you're in a good school system and you look at this 3 out of 5 stars, maybe that's not the house for you. But it gives them the ability to kind of see, okay, well, maybe I want to be over by this school over here and that sort of thing. So huge piece of it. We get a ton of clicks on the area schools because for the most part, that's one of the top 2 or 3 things that a buyer is looking for. So really everything that potential buyer could want to find out about the property, we try to give them access to on here. And then we'll show you a couple more of these sites. They're templated, so none of them are really going to look the same, but they're all going to have the same feel and they're all going to have the same functionality to them. So you've got all the information about the property again, information about the realtor, and then all these pieces right here for them to click on. They click on print brochure, takes them to the brochures for this property, same thing. Multiple flyers for them to choose from. It's as easy as printing or saving to a PDF. And the real estate agent and the seller are good to go on that. Show you one more. This is for our high-def pictures. You know, for anyone that's got the ability to get us some of those high-def pictures. You will have realtors from time to time say, hey, the photos weren't that great on these websites. Again, we're pulling all of this off of the MLS. So if they want to send us directly the high-definition pictures for their properties, they are more than welcome to do that, and we will substitute those pictures for what we get from the listing service. So that's not a problem if that's something that is of concern for them. And then we'll show you the listing presentation flipbooks. Okay, there's 2 of these. Both of them are pretty much the same. Both of them are to promote the program that the realtor has. So let's say that real estate agent goes and sits down with that potential seller. They're trying to gain their trust. They're trying to show them exactly what they're going to do to help sell their property. Most importantly, they're trying to explain to them why they are the best agent to work with to get this property sold. So, you know, the goal of our online marketing strategy is to create demand among multiple qualified buyers so they compete to buy your home. It's right on the page. I mean, the realtor can't mess it up, you know. They click to the next page. We're going to create a custom website for your home. The core of our marketing strategy is your custom website with its unique website address. Buyers have direct access to high-def photos and information about your property. Self-explanatory. That agent could know nothing about, I mean, maybe they don't even know what the World Wide Web is. It doesn't matter. All they have to do is read this, and then, hey, let me show you an example of what I've done. They click on, you know, get the sample. Now, this one wasn't set up with that agent's information, but we can easily set it up with one of their agents, with one of that agent's listings. So this could be the listing that we just showed you for this team. But either way, it's got an option. It's got an example of one of the websites. So anybody that's on that flipbook, either they're sitting with that real estate agent or the realtor emailed them the link. Here's the link right here: tmgrayroberson.mymarketingbook.com. It's never going to change. They can save that to the. If you look at the signature line on my email, there's a thing at the bottom that says 85% of our closed loans come from realtor referral purchase business. Let me just drag this over here and I'll show you, because you guys can get set up with this as well if you'd like, or the realtors can get set up with it. 85% of our closed loans come from realtor referral purchase business. That's true, by the way. We know what successful realtors need to sell more homes. For information on our Realtor Partnership Program, click here. Hopefully this link still works, and it does. Excellent. And it pulls the book right up for them. So the realtors are able to do that as well. They can put it in their signature line. They can save the address to their Internet Explorer favorites. They can email it to the buyers or the sellers, and you know it's always there for them is the important piece. So they click through after they've discussed that they're going to set up the website. So now we're going to set you up with an online commercial. All the words over here are fully customizable as well. So if they want to add some things, I would probably suggest adding something about their YouTube channel. You know, 51% of buyers looking at virtual tours are on YouTube. We set your property up on our YouTube channel. See sample, and then this could actually go to YouTube, or it can come to this video that's pulling up right now. This is the freestanding virtual tour. All the properties get these as well, and there you go. So really, it's all about simplicity and the ability for the agent to be able to use it properly. I'm sure you guys have a ton of properties where you're at. That link is broken, so we'll work on that. But I'm sure you guys would have a ton of properties where you're at with HD, with what would be excellent panoramic tours for that house. Probably a lot of views out there that are worth having that 360 view. So they're actually able to do this now with, you know, all the iPhones are set up to do it. You can just click on panoramic picture, and you just kind of spin the circle and take that picture. So if they've got that 360-degree photo that they'd like to put on the website, they can put that on there as well. So anyways, you've got 15, 16, 17 pages worth of what they're going to do to promote that property, and it's right there on their flipbook. Let's see what other ones we've got on here that are worth looking at. And then we've also got the Java-enabled versions of these. So for those realtors that are using an iPhone or an iPad to show the presentation, not as good looking whenever you flip it because it doesn't have flash technology built in, but obviously you wouldn't be able to open that on your iPad anyways. So so that's what we've got. I mean, that's that's basically the full overview that I do for the realtors. I traditionally, will probably spend anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour doing a presentation for them. I don't get kicked out of very many offices, and I don't get told to sum it up very often because for the most part, it's high-quality material for them, and they do get interested in what we have to offer. I was in Pensacola once. We'd gone down there for kind of their grand opening, and we did a presentation at the #1 real estate office in Pensacola, which just happens to be right across the street from the loan officer's office, which is just extremely convenient. And we were told we had 20 minutes to do our presentation. We ended up spending an hour and 15 minutes, and it was actually because the office manager asked that we went on and showed all the property websites and all that stuff. And then we got talking about our turn times. And most of the places we have offices set up in Florida, the loan officers aren't able to get things done for the most part in less than 45 days. So once we started talking about some of the systems we have in place and how we're closing loans quick, they were really eager to hear it, and they wanted to hear specifically how we were able to do that. So I know, Tony, you've had some pretty successful fast closings already. Hopefully you've been able to wow some of those realtors and kind of stand apart from the rest of the loan officers out there. But I'll do the whole, I'll do the PowerPoint presentation, and then I'll jump into showing some examples. I typically spend more time showing the examples in the PowerPoint presentation if they're looking for, to go quickly. So the websites themselves sell pretty easily. I mean, once they see what we've got for them, they get pretty excited about that. And then the final thing, obviously, never leave a sales presentation without discussing the different types of programs we have to offer, the turn times, what you as a loan officer specifically do to make sure that the realtor is getting whatever they need taken care of and making sure that they understand where we are in the process of the loan, that sort of thing. So does anybody have any questions? Tony, did we get everything answered for you for the flyers and all that?
I'll have a ton of questions over time, but we'll figure this out before we move in. I know on our website for Sagamore we have the login for realtors.
Yes.
Can you explain that a little bit? Give me an idea of what we're doing there?
Absolutely. So the realtor login actually takes you to the back-end portal for these sites, and we'll take them to their actual they'll get a username and password with their setup. Most realtors don't want to go in there because, first of all, we set up all the properties for them from there. So they're not going in there to set up the properties, but they can go in there to check, how many hits the properties have had. They can go in and check, if they've had any leads that maybe they didn't see. Any lead that comes through, just so you guys know, anybody that puts, request more information, or anybody that clicks, email me or whatever, any type of lead that goes through the system will be emailed to both the realtor and to the loan officer. So basically, you guys are always in the loop on that, and then they're always in the loop. So they don't really need to go into the back end. I do, sometimes suggest that the loan officer goes in there. Much of what makes this system successful is always having a way to touch base with that realtor. So you've got a reason to call them. So maybe maybe there were 20 people that were on the site the night before, or maybe you saw something come through that was emailed. A question was emailed from the website to the realtor. You've got a reason to pick up the phone and call that agent and say, hey, I saw this guy had a question. Wanted to see if you answered that, or if you wanted me to try to touch base with them. Whatever it is, Just wanted to see if you had any new listings that we can set up with websites. Wanted to see what you thought about the website, that sort of thing. Whatever the reason is to call, you've got more reasons than you can count just with these websites whenever we set them up for them. So that's a big piece of it. So you guys can actually log in as the real estate agent from that portal if you want, and kind of take a look at what's going on with the sites, and maybe email them some. There's also things. There's a lot of things in there that aren't on our presentation, like business card. There's business card stickers basically that have all the information about the property and then have a picture of it. So they can put those on the back of their business card, and then they can hand them out at open houses. So now the person that was at the open house has the realtor's business card, but then also has the information about the property where they met that agent. So you can send them those via email or whatever you want to do, just as a talking point, as a point of being able to touch base with that agent. So yes, they can log in from that site as far as checking in on their websites. But like I said, most of them, once they know we're going to do it for them, they're like, have at it, because a lot of it, again, is trying to save them time, save them money, and save them that headache.
I've got another question for you. Do we have anything, or are we implementing anything in the way of a landing page for the loan officer? Something where, the last place we left, it had just really it just started being integrated. And a landing page, I mean, they come to my page, they have access to, I know when they go to the Sagamore page, they have access for application and stuff like that. Do we have the ability to do landing pages so that somebody could come into my website, fill in their application so that it kicks an email to me with all the app info in there? Something that is maybe, they're out at 9 o'clock and they want to get something in quick while they're with the buyer and they're at the location. They hop on the iPad or whatever and they get an app into me. Do we have anything of that kind?
Yeah, I can definitely set that up for you. We've got a couple branches that have their own websites, for example. But yeah, we can definitely just add a page, and then it takes a little bit of work with the loan officer or the branch manager, just because we would want to get what type of information do you want on there. We've got the ability to put a Calyx integrated application on there as well, so that would be a big piece on it that we can definitely do. So when they fill out the application and they send it, it actually puts that right into your pipeline as a that's
exactly what I was talking about. The last place we had just started, they were actually going to Encompass, which automatically integrates the web page right into Encompass. And I know Calyx has it if we can set it up.
Yeah, they've got it available through Calyx, and it's like it's the page that they do the application isn't exactly customizable, but it doesn't really matter. As long as they can get there from your landing page, you'll be good to go. So yeah, we can definitely set you up with that.
All right, Chris. Yeah, I mean, if we did if we could get individual landing pages, it helps quite a bit. And I know I always got a lot of leads right through the internet as well. When people didn't have the time, it actually helps.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep, absolutely.
Hello, Chris.
Yes, George.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Chris. I'm George. I've worked with Tony for a while. I had a question about, because this seems to actually be quite a bit beyond what most brokers do, most real estate offices are doing. Maybe, like you said, Century 21, some of the big guys maybe have stuff like this. Can you put like an estimated cost or value on this if somebody wanted to? I mean, as far as like a large broker that's not doing this, or how can we?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. So I would probably put, like I said, the thing is it's hard to find something with as many pieces together, but I would say that if they were to find some kind of a system, they could maybe get it done for $20 per listing as a whole. But the biggest piece about it is that time piece, in my opinion. So, they can say, yeah, I could probably spend $20 and do it all myself, but you're going to have to pay somebody a ton of money to get it done, and I'm not sure what that number would be. But if they're sitting there thinking I could do this on my own, your first question should be, what do you think you're worth per hour? How many homes can you get out there and sell, or how many buyers can you get into listings and get purchase contracts put together? what does an hour of your day look like, and how much is that worth to you? Because I mean, they would spend, between the learning curve and between actually doing things, you're talking hours of their time. And so that's part of the biggest sales piece on this is not only is there, you may be able to get online and find a few different websites that will do things similar to this. You may be able to get it done for as little as $20, $30 per listing, but it's the time piece. I mean, how many of these can you just give that MLS number to, and it's boom, it's taken care of for you? So that's one of the biggest issues. And I find a lot of realtors that their exact things that they say to me is, I've been wanting to do this. I've been looking at doing this, but it all comes down to, I mean, it's the same with us. I mean, you think about, well, it'd be great to do this or that, but implementing it and actually taking that step to do it and actually putting aside time in your day to do it, completely different. So when you give them that solution and you say, hey, we can take care of this for you, we can get this set up for you, we can maintain it for you, all we need is a little bit of information and just kind of keep in contact with us. When you give them that opportunity, they're going to jump all over it. And then you may get people that say, hey, I've already got, Century 21 already does something similar to this for me. And my answer is always, since when is there too much marketing? You know what I mean? You can never have too much marketing, especially when it comes to being online. The more options that a buyer has to come across something of yours, as far as the listing or as far as your blog or whatever it is, the more opportunity they have, that more exposure they have out there, the higher conversion they're going to get. So.
Right. Now, since they're not paying for it, and I noticed that, obviously, everything is co-branded. Is it co-branded enough so that there's no issues with RESP or anything like that? I'm sure.
Yeah, all of these are compliant with the different realtor pieces as far as what they have to comply with. These are always being run through with the legal comb to make sure that everything that's on here is what needs to be on there. You see the little things like the little equal opportunity house down here and all that jazz. So I mean, we make sure everything is compliant, and then on top of it, with the RESPA, as far as giving realtors something of value, these are actually, when we send out the information for the properties, they're actually told that they need to forward this to the seller because we technically set it up for the seller. So that's where there's no, even if someone were to say, hey, this is worth this much, you can't give a real estate agent something that's worth that much money. You can't do marketing on their behalf if it's worth that much money. We did it for the seller is the answer to that. So they're always being passed on to that seller, and the seller's always getting the benefit. They've got the seller actually gets a login. They have the ability to log in if they want to and all that jazz. So this was a seller marketing piece that the realtor just happened to gain a little bit of benefit from.
Gotcha.
So we're compliant, they're compliant. Big compliance party.
Super, thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, and and I'm looking forward to working with you guys. Still have some setting up for one of you. Was it George? Are you the one that's on board with us already, or?
I haven't got my paperwork in. I'm actually, and this is interesting, Tony and I were talking about it yesterday, and I'm struggling with a very large broker who has a lot of realtors under him that wants to hold on to and control his own mortgage business inside of his office, which he's had for a lot of years, but he's not capturing even 10% of the loans going through there because his own people realtors don't work with him. So I'm trying to get around that at this point. He wants me to run his entire office and kind of get him back home, but there's no way he's going to have the tools and the options and the streamlined nature that I want working with Tony and with you guys. So I don't know, maybe if we have an opportunity to sit down, we're talking 300 realtors right now and more down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah, there. The real estate offices, when they started getting hit a few years ago and things kind of slowed down, they started looking for ways to make more money. So we get approached a lot of times by realtors that will try to get us to pay to be in their office or to pay to be part of their team, their exclusive team, and all that jazz. They're just trying to find a way to get that rent dollar. You know, we're hoping to see less of that now that the markets are heating back up again. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's never great when the realtor is trying to get an exclusive loan officer in their office, but you still got the opportunity to work with them, because for the most part, any office that has a loan officer in their office and they're supposed to be using that loan officer, for the most part, you're going to find a lot of realtors in that office that just don't like that person. They either don't mesh with that person, or that person can't handle the amount of business they have. So they're always looking for somebody to work with. But this would be, you know, if they're not doing much marketing, this could be an opportunity for you to really take over that entire shop and to be a great asset to them.
Well, as far as, I think you're exactly right. I think every realtor in there, if you can get in front of all those realtors, this would be something that they'd all jump at. And I do have some realtor contacts that I'm already working with in there that I could spread the word through. However, the broker is going to always be an issue because he wants control. He wants to have it his business that's doing the loans. I don't know. Maybe when we get some time, I want to sit down with Tony and maybe strategize and find a way to, you know, get in his door with and have him feel like, you know, he's not giving away his shop. You know what I mean?
Sure. So what is his solution right now? I mean, who is he working with currently? I mean,
Well, he has a girl who's worked for him for, you know, 10, 12 years, who can run about 8 to 10 loans a month, and one girl helping her out as kind of an assistant. And he's maybe doing 8 to 10 loans out of 50 closings.
Sure.
A month. And that's all he's really doing. He doesn't have the programs. He's not signed up with the right things. He can't close any and every loan. He's just strictly a flat broker. Everything's brokered.
Yeah.
And his solution, I've presented him with a few different options and ways that we can do this, and he keeps going back to, well, George, you know, I just want you to come in and be in charge and take over my entire office. I'll sign up with any people, you know, programs you need me to, but I don't want to just have you come in here with your own company or your own business and start, you know, taking over. I want you to run my already currently established business, which is failing.
Gotcha. Yeah, everything I see coming down the pipe for the broker side is just not good. I mean, I would, you know, even if you don't end up coming on board with Sagamore, you definitely want to get on board with a lender, because there are some rules that are hitting within the next few months that are just going to strangle the broker shops to death. So you just keep that in mind. And I mean, if he's truly just broker, he probably doesn't have the pieces that are required to set up as a lender. You know, the net worth, the liquidity, the bonds, all those things are, you know, and I mean, just the paperwork and the red tape. I mean, it's all extremely difficult to become a lender at this point. And if he's just a broker, I would not be, I would not advise anybody. And this is coming from somebody who, you know, worked for a broker shop and made a lot of money at a broker shop at one point in my life. It's just they really want the brokers to be gone. So if you don't end up with us, I mean, I would definitely advise you to try to find a lender. But I mean, I'm not sure how much you know or how much Tony's told you. We are a purchase lender, and we have been a purchase lender for since our conception. So I mean, what we've built our entire company around is marketing, systems, and everything around what the realtor needs to succeed and what a realtor wants from a lender. So we're consistently changing everything just to make sure that we're you know, doing what the realtors need to be successful and doing what we need to be successful to sell to real estate agents. So our average turn time last month was 21 days, and that was in Florida, and that was in some pockets of Florida where I would say the majority of the lenders are at like 45 days plus. So what that does for you is when you're with a lender that really understands how to push things for that purchase date, you know, it gives you that opportunity to snag those other realtors, because, you know, they're missing contract dates, and that nothing pisses off a realtor more than missing a contract date. So we build systems to help our loan officers be successful with realtors, and then we also build systems to help realtors be successful working with our loan officers. One thing that we just rolled out that Tony probably doesn't even know about yet is a full log on to our Blitzdocs system. Our Blitzdocs is the system where we actually implement, where the underwriting takes place. It's where the processing takes place. So this is
Tony showed it to me. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've actually done is we've created an access portal for the realtors. Now, the realtors can log into Blitzdocs directly from our website, just like our loan officer can. They're going to have access to everything that you would need as a real estate agent. So they're going to have access to all the information about the file that is not going to have any kind of an issue as far as the legality of it. But it's going to show them things like, where is it at in the process? Is this borrower pre-approved? Is this borrower in underwriting? Is this borrower in processing? Has the appraisal been ordered? When is the appraisal estimated to be due back? All of these items that a realtor would want to know, they can jump right into the file. As a loan officer, as a branch manager, whoever it is, Tony can actually assign a realtor. He can get them set up with a login and password. He can assign them that file. And now when that realtor searches for their files, the only ones they're going to see are the ones that they're working with Tony on. So if they have 3 or 4 files in the process, they can see all those, and it'll say exactly where it's at in the status. We're working on having our underwriting turn times visible on that site, so they'll be able to say, okay, this was submitted to underwriting yesterday. What are the turn times? Okay, it's 24 hours, so we should see this thing back today. Those types of things, the things that really keeps the loan officer and the realtor on the same page. Because, nobody wants to get that phone call 4 times a day. Hey, where's it at? Has it gone to underwriting? Has it been underwritten? Blah, blah, blah. This gives them the complete access to it as well. Now, whether or not the realtors actually utilize it, I'm not sure. But as a sales point, to be able to tell your agent, hey, I can't lie to you. You know what I mean? The day of the loan officer saying, yeah, I submitted that last week, those are gone. And he's still got the docs in his hands. Those days are gone. It's a complete, ability for the realtor to understand exactly what's going on with that file, and it is what it is. It was submitted yesterday, or it was submitted today, or whatever it is. They'll be able to see it in real time.
Right. No, I agree with you, and I'm excited about that. I think for me, I love what Sagamore's doing, and I love Tony, and it's something that I really think has all the things that I want as a loan officer, that simplifies my life, lets me network with, realtors, bring in business, but not spend all my time working on paperwork. And I think you've got a setup that is perfect for me in that respect. The one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to lose this connection to all these realtors through the broker. And I want to keep that relationship that makes it easy to get in the door a bit. And plus, I know where his growth. He's opening up a shop in Kissimmee. He's opening up one in Miami. So there's a lot of growth. His goal is 500 realtors, and he only charges $295 on every deal to the realtor. But he's not really giving any of what you're doing to those realtors. So there's no support from him. He's just a broker who has an office that you can come in and use, like a virtual office, and he charges $295 on every deal that you close. And it's simple. What you have bridges the gap of what he's not spending money on for them. And I think this would be attractive for him. I need to find a way to have him either feel like he's getting something from the mortgage process, or that he's in charge of something. I don't know. That's really where the breakdown is. He doesn't want to give up his mortgage deal because he thinks that it's money. I don't know if you have any thoughts on how we can bridge the gap, because I think the tools give his people what he's not giving them, which will attract more realtors.
So what do you think his biggest concern is as far as letting go? Do you think it's getting rid of the name, the mortgage company name? Do you think it's the fact that he's just a control freak? Have you, we could approach
I've had
this.
multiple meetings with him.
Okay.
And we had a breakdown for a month because he thought he'd go with some other guy, and it didn't work out, so he called me back. Long story short is, I think he does have a control issue. I think that he wants to be the owner of the business, and he wants to generate and earn profits from the business. And, have control of have some control. He wants to have control. Yeah, I think he's a control freak. Got to be the only thing.
And he's definitely a broker?
He is the broker of record, and he owns the mortgage business, but he says he's not the broker for the mortgage. I guess the main girl that's been there is probably the broker of record for the mortgage operation.
Sure.
I don't know if he's in any compliance issues, but if you guys have any thoughts on how we can develop that.
Well, if she's the one that basically owns the company and they kind of work together on it, I don't know. I mean, there's always the opportunity for us to convert broker shops to lenders. So we could actually come in and become his lender, and then they could actually keep their name. So we have some branches that will keep their names. So we've got a branch down in Evansville called Oxford Mortgage, and basically on their signs it just says Oxford Mortgage, which is they have this this name that they've been building the branding up for years.
How long has Oxford been there? How long has it?
Oxford has been around for, I would say, 25 years.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
And then they came on board with Sagamore in I want to say like 2009, 2010, and since then they've been Oxford Home Mortgage, nothing different. DBA, Sagamore Home Mortgage, doing business as. So
okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's always an option. I mean
that's great.
That would be a great way for you to not only keep them from going down with the rest of the broker shops, but give them the ability to control their own, their own office as Sagamore, or as their own name, but I mean as the benefit of being on board with Sagamore Home Mortgage, and then that would give you the ability to sign on and also work with them. So
that makes a lot of sense. I'd like to look at that option a little bit more so I can competently bring that up to them, or maybe create a meeting with with everybody involved, so that he can really get a good sense of the tools that he's going to get by doing this.
Now, the only side of that would be difficult for us is the fact that's why I asked if we think that she truly is the one that basically operates the mortgage company, because we can't, as a full Eagle FHA lender, we can't have real estate agents working as loan officers. Basically, what happens.
Well,
so
the girl who got in there is not a real estate agent. Now, and I know he can't have his name on the real estate side and the mortgage.
Right.
He can't have his name on both. There's
sure.
no way.
Right.
I'm sure he just owns.
Yeah, I'm sure he does
as
too.
an LLC, and she runs it and has her name on it.
So in that case, it'd probably be fine. You hear a lot of realtors that will say, well, I do mortgages and I have no problem doing FHA loans. Well, that's on the broker side. You're able to do it. But once you're a lender and you're full legal with FHA, meaning you operate directly with them, that's when you cannot do any loans as a lender and have realtors working on your team. So we've had a few people try to come on board, and we have to tell them they have to make a choice. But that may work. I mean, that would be an opportunity for everyone.
Right. Well, I'm just so I have this straight in my head, and I'm sorry, just to make sure I'm straight in my head. Basically, it would be like his mortgage brokerage signing up with us as a lender, and he'd be running the loans through us as us being the lender, and obviously that's all it really is.
We have two different types of branches. We have a retail branch, like Tony's.
Right.
That's where we've got skin in the game. That's where we set up the branch, and we did all the work to get it going. And then we have what's called BPOs. Those are business partner opportunities. And those are basically, if you want to think about it as a franchise, that's kind of what it is. That's where, in most of these that we come up with are former broker shops. They've already got the overhead going. They've already established everything. They understand how to run a business. And what they do is we basically come in and become the lender. And now they get all the benefits of being with Sagamore Home Mortgage, but then they run their own profit center. So all their expenses run through the profit center, and all their profits run through the center. And it's just, it's no different than a business account, really. So it's just like, honestly, it's a pretty seamless transition as far as he would be concerned, or as far as she would be concerned. The only difference really would be that we would send them a DBA Sagamore Home Mortgage sticker that they would have to put on their door. But I mean, like I said, they could keep their name. They could keep everything in place. They just get the benefit of working
the profit center as he generates loans and everything.
Exactly. So as they close loans, the money goes into it, and then as they pay, their rent, or they pay, their office supplies or whatever it is, the money comes out of it for that. So that's really the only big thing, is that some people can't let go of the accounting side and having that piece, but we've actually got our own accounting department, and they run the profit centers for the branches. Now, the branches have the opportunity to see everything, and it's not like there's expenses they don't know about or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, that's how it works. I mean, it's really, if you're already operating as a broker, it's pretty seamless.
Is there any way to keep what Tony's doing involved in that situation? I mean, obviously, because with the number of realtors and the number of options and, the other offices that are being opened, there would be an opportunity for, bringing on, having new loan officers and putting them in different areas and different locations, because of where he's opening up locations. Is it possible in this scenario that we're discussing for Tony's branch and I to still, is it possible, to have Tony's branch a part of this, or doesn't have to be separate?
Yeah, it would definitely be worth looking into. We may have an opportunity for it, and I see where you're going with that. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a conversation and trying to kind of put our heads together and coming up with something. But yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'm ready to sit down and hash this out and try to find something that really works for this guy. And it sounds like this might, because he keeps control, he keeps the profit center on his side of things, but he gets the access to all the tools as well as the loans and the quick turnaround.
But I will tell you, though, that, I mean, if this is the only, I mean, if his branch is the only thing that you're concerned about, I mean, I guess, if you were to come on board with Tony's branch, I mean, you shouldn't have any problem picking up, 4 or 5 branches just like this one. I mean, honestly, it's once you get out there and you show them what we're doing, you'll have no problem picking up realtors as far as, just referral partners for life. So
no, I mean, literally, and you're right. I mean, it's once you do a good job. I mean, there's one point, just like Tony was saying, where we had to take a step back after leaving Integrity. There was one point where we were so busy, there wasn't enough time in the day. We couldn't go out and get more realtors because we didn't have enough time. We couldn't
Absolutely.
go out and pay for it.
Yep.
With this, we can manage more realtors.
Right. And I know that, when Tony was first coming on board, that was kind of what he felt like. He had enough realtors. And honestly, this system, for selling homes faster, there's some areas of Florida that just don't need it. So I don't know what your average turn time on listings are right now, but eventually it will slow down even if it is really good. And then that's when the realtors start thinking, what was that marketing program? So, there's always there's kind of ebb and flows in this industry, and there's going to be times you want to hit that marketing hard, and there's going to be times where you kind of take your foot off the gas because you're getting so much business in the door. So.
Right. Well, Chris, one of the great things that I want to do with this, and I know you guys are busy and we should move on, and maybe have a real meeting someday with Tony, but I have a pretty solid network of people doing flips, where they've got a couple guys with money, a couple hard money guys, got people that do the work, the construction, the rehab side of things, and the FSBO side of this would be phenomenal. None of these guys have the ability or the knowledge or the capability to market and sell these homes. And, I know 3 or 4 different people that have 4 or 5 different homes for sale right now that they're just waiting to get sold because they bought it, rehab it, and now they're trying to sell it. And frankly, none of them want to work with realtors because they don't want to give up their profit margin.
Right.
This is the solution.
Absolutely. This is a great system for that. And then on the lending side, unlike a lot of broker shops out there, we've got access to lenders that will let us finance the property less than 90 days since put on title.
Without the second appraisal kind of deal.
Yep,
absolutely. Let it go over 100%, that whole deal. Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, you're gonna run into anytime you're 6. You got the 90 days, you got the 6 months, that sort of thing. Anytime you're less than the 90 days, especially, you're really hurting to try to find a way to get that thing financed. So we've got those programs, so it would be just perfect synergy for you to work with them.
Right. Well, I love everything that I'm hearing, and I want to sit down with you and Tony, and I want to find a way to do some of these things that we're talking about with this broker and with the other people that I'm working with in relation to the flips and stuff. I think there's a lot of great things we can do.
Sure. Tony, you still there, buddy? You may have lost Tony.
I put him to sleep.
No, I'm still here, bro. Sorry, I was doing something. I had it on mute.
That's no problem, And I know you're busy, Tony. You got a ton in the pipeline. So we'll, unless anybody else has any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I thank you for being on here. I'm going to shoot you an email with the PowerPoint. I'll send you the NAR and Google presentation that I showed you at the beginning, and I'll send you all the links to everything that we kind of looked over, so you guys can, have the information you need to kind of sell it for those of you that are with Sagamore currently, or maybe make that decision to come on board for those of you who are not. So thanks for your time, guys. I'm here. If you need anything, just let me know. My contact info will be on those emails.